Our first committee report will be presented by Dr. Mary Scolay and later with Brad Kimbrel of the Jockey Club Company InCompass. Dr. Scolay is the Association Veterinarian at Calder and Gulfstream Park in Florida. Her development of a standardized injury reporting form has been widely accepted and stands to make a major contribution to horse racing. Dr. Scolay.
Actually, you have a first.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Dr. Scolay would prefer that Brad Kimbrel go first. Brad is the Vice President of Sales for InCompass, which, as I said, is one of the Jockey Club companies. InCompass supplies racing office systems to over 95% of thoroughbred tracks in North America, and they have worked closely together with Dr. Scolay, Dr. Rick Arthur, and members of the Summit Steering Committee, as well as the entire operation. And they have been designing the launch for the injury and the pre-race exams. So Brad Kimbrel will start.
Thank you, Ed. Good morning. Today I'd like to give you an update. Let's let this thing get on the screen. I'd like to give you an update on the progress that InCompass has made, along with the Jockey Club and Jockey Club Technology Services, on two different initiatives. Those being the pre-race exam software and the National Catastrophic Injury Database. First, let me give you some background on InCompass and who we are. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of the Jockey Club. Our mission is to provide business and technology solutions to the racetrack industry. One of the main focuses is in the racing and horseman's bookkeeper's office at the racetracks. We designed, and the Jockey Club Technology Services built, a centralized software application that allows the racetracks to come into the databases at the Jockey Club and operate their racing office and horseman's bookkeeper systems. This software allows the racetracks to publish the condition and stakes books that horsemen receive, the entries to put the horses in the races, and publish programs for their racing fans. We also distribute the purse money to the horsemen as they compete in the races. We do this for more than 95% of the tracks in North America. From racetracks the size of Keeneland, all the way down to the little small fairs out west, the 1- and 2-day meets at the fair meets. The reason we're able to deliver this technology, along with the industry data to our customers, is due to our centralized software package, which we call Racetrack Operations, or RTO system. The system has the power to access pedigree data from the registry, as well as charts and past performances from the Equine company. This unique marriage of application software and data allow the racetracks to have this information at their fingertips with a click of a mouse. First, I'll talk about the National Injury Reporting Database. The objectives here, when the Welfare and Safety Summit Committee worked with the Jockey Club family of companies on the idea of creating a database of central database applications that would enable industry veterinarians to capture and track horse information, horses injured at racetracks across the United States. Dr. Mary Scolay, the track vet from Gulfstream Park and Calder Racecourse, worked closely with the steering committee, which existed of veterinarians and other industry stakeholders, and designed a reporting form for capturing horse injury information in a clear and easy to understand format. Now we needed to automate this collection system. The Jockey Club and InCompass are actually in a unique position to deliver this solution, as we have databases that are key to the success of this project. InCompass has a nationwide infrastructure with all the racetracks, a communication system designed with those racetracks to access our databases here in Lexington. This, combined with our experience in developing application software and working with racetrack personnel to put that software to work for the racetracks, gives us a distinct advantage and a vision to succeed in making this happen. We also have experience in delivering data via a secure application, our Horseman's Bookkeeper financial package, which allows the racetracks to access the system with control based on users' job functions or data needs. The injury reporting application also contains sensitive information that must be secured while letting the people that need to get to it get there in an easy manner. At the same time, securing that data so others cannot see that data, as it's very sensitive. Now I'd like to show you a few of the data entry screens that form the basis of the system. The Jockey Club family of companies have collectively invested over 400 hours of design and development time to bring this system to the industry. And all of this work has been done at no cost to anyone outside of the Jockey Club family. This is the home screen for the injury reporting system. I'll walk you through the screens and highlight some of the benefits that we realized by tying this application into our core racing office application. The first item is that the vet clicks the facility or the racetrack that they want to enter this report for. And this list of tracks is limited by the rights of the user. So if I work at Keeneland and Monmouth, I can only see and enter reports for Keeneland and Monmouth. Next, they put the race date and the race number in, and at this point, the system reads from the overnight sheet in the racing office all of the runners and displays this screen to the user to allow them to select a horse. Now we go into the detail screen where the injury starts being entered. The selected horse is displayed along with his color, his breed, his sex, the foaling date, the tattoo number, and even the markings from the Jockey Club foal papers. The reporting and attending veterinarian fields are pre-populated with the default information that is tied to that user, but they can be overridden. If this injury occurred either pre-race or post-race, the location where that injury was first observed is updated. This allows us to log injuries that are related to a race but did not actually happen in the race, could have happened before or after the race. And you can see there the gate, the post-parade, the paddock for pre-race, and past the wire or returning from the track, unsaddling, etc. So we can mark exactly what happened to this horse and when. The weight carried is read from the overnight sheet as well. And if there's an overweight, you can click the spin buttons there to move the weight up or down, or just override the weight. And the same thing with the jockey. If he was injured, there's a yes, no for that, and the information is captured here. So later when the analysis is done on this data, we'll have that piece of information. Now we capture the resident status of the horse. If a horse has been on the grounds, he may have different issues than a horse that just shipped in today or has only been on the grounds for a few days. The course and distance are read from the overnight sheet and the program that's distributed to the fans through the RTO system, and the user's allowed to denote whether the race was around 1 or 2 turns. As you probably know, some racetracks, due to their configuration, can run a 1-mile race either out of the chute or on the main track. Now, if the injury actually happened within the race, the user can click the location where that injury is first observed, and that's certainly going to be an important piece of information at the racetrack and overall in this system to tell where these horses are having problems. Dr. Scolay developed a list of triage scores to allow this injury to be categorized for later study. This scoring system will allow for grouping of similar injuries and provide a much better option than free-form text would allow. This will allow the epidemiologist to sort and filter this data in a manner that is easy to understand and easy to sort. Now we get to the detailed injury screen, and this screen allows for multiple injuries to be captured in one session. This grid shows 3 injuries to the right front leg, a sesamoid fracture, and then 2 soft tissue injuries to the tendon. And that all happened in this one injury. We addressed the limb that was affected by the injury, and then the specific category of this injury. And you'll notice that all of these fields are represented by drop-down boxes with pre-populated descriptions, again avoiding that free-form text entry so we can later analyze this data. When the committee determines that enough data has been gathered, an epidemiologist will be engaged to study this data. Sorting and filtering of the data will be much more efficient due to these pre-populated fields. Next items are the anatomic region and the site of the injury. Another point of interest here that relates to all of these fields is that each subsequent field limits the text that is displayed in the drop-down box based on the prior field's data. In other words, you won't see a knee in a selection when the limb is selected as one of the back legs, so that it's context sensitive to make it easier to use in the field. The last item on the injury detail screen is the modifier, and some choices here would include with a fracture, maybe a slab, a spiral, or a multiple fracture to modify that category. Now this last screen addresses incident details and management of the injury. And first we have the incident related information such as ran loose, bolted, flipped, those kind of type things to describe what led up to the injury. Then if the stewards took any action as a result of this incident, that's noted here as well. Stewards' inquiries and jockey claims of fouls are noted, as well as whether there was a disqualification as a result of the incident. Next, any injury management procedures are noted, and the other category allows for a free-form text entry of an unusual procedure not included in that list. If any emergency medications were administered, they're noted here in the emergency medication field. And then lastly, the outcome of the injury is noted as either a non-fatality, a fatality, or unknown. And if there was a fatality, the user denotes whether it was within 72 hours of the injury and the horse is euthanized, or if he died and later passed away, they just mark him as died. Now, the reason that we were able to launch this catastrophic injury program so quickly was due to the time and effort that we spent on our commercial product, the pre-race vet exam. For the pre-race vet exam, one important objective to bringing this product to the marketplace was the ease of data entry for the user out in the field and connection to our database here in Lexington. Our racing office software application only requires a PC and a high-speed connection to the internet, and that's all the hardware that's needed. As we looked at design options for this application, one major factor was the users would be working outside of our normal office environment. So we had to look at other technology. Everybody that has a smartphone or knows someone that has a smartphone, and communications are moving ahead, and PCs now are able to take advantage of that, even these wireless PCs. You know, there are wireless access points here on the backside of Keeneland. And we now have devices that can connect to the internet using these wireless access points. And if no wireless access point is available, we can use an air card or a cellular modem hooked into one of these devices. These tablet PCs come in many shapes and sizes, including models. The one on the right there can be tossed down a staircase. There's a little movie on the internet that shows that thing going down 3 flights of stairs, and they pick it up and it's still working. It's called a rugged tablet. It can withstand 4 inches of rain without damage. They're about the size of a magazine and about 1 inch thick, and they weigh about 2¼ pounds. So there's some that are very nimble, and then there are others that are what we call luggables, or very heavy. We think that these devices are the most efficient way to get the data into the system because the vet can do it right there in the field. Of course, the standard method of connecting to the internet is available as well. We can, if the vet prefers, we can launch laptop PCs or desktop PCs to access the application, and those can be used to transcribe the information from the cards or the exam cards back into the system. And this decision is really up to the end user what their preference is. Now, this is the home screen for the pre-race exam. And again, we take advantage of the racing office has set the card for the racetrack, and after the user selects the race date, we populate the grid with the race number, the program number, the horse name, the trainer, the barn, the age and sex of the horse, the color, and the tattoo for every horse that's set to run on that day. And to the right there, you see a little checkbox that says exam, and that denotes whether the exam has been performed on this horse yet or not. The user can also limit the selection here to a single barn by just clicking the drop-down box for barns and just look at a single barn, what horses are in barn 7 today, and go check those horses. And this way, if a horse was out on the track when you did your first exam, you can come back and catch that horse now because you'll see that he has not had an exam, and you can complete your day's work. So when you click on the race number or the horse name or the trainer or the barn, you can resort this list. If you want to look at it by barn or by trainer, you can do that just by clicking the heading up there. Then after the user selects a horse, this screen is displayed. And at the top, you'll have the horse's name and his full description, just like the other system does, including the markings from the Jockey Club foal certificate. The previous exams for the horse are displayed in this box, and the user can click on any of those previous exams to see the details on that exam. This gives examining vets the option of comparing how a horse looks today with how he's looked in the past. He may not have even made the previous exams, but he has the benefit of seeing those exams and looking at what's about this horse is different today. Maybe he sees something funny in the way the horse is jogging, but he notes that he's had that same ailment or that same condition 3 times in a row and he's run okay. Then they let the horse go. It's normal. And this box is where we can review the past exams or enter new exams. You see the abbreviated exam information across the top. That is all detailed down in the bottom section there that says exam details to show that BF is bilateral front, etc. Then the final entries consist of the trainer and veterinarian information, as well as the jog comments. The 3 buttons at the top of the screen allow a user to open the entire horse record from the racing office package and view the ownership, the Coggins date, the TRPB verified tattoo number, etc. The horse's past performance record and workouts are also accessible from this screen if the vet wants to see how the horse has been performing based on the ailments that he's had in the past. This gives the vet full access to everything available on each horse from any location. If they're using one of the tablet PCs, they have access to everything that is available without the requirement of a wired network connection. For those vets that prefer to work from a desktop environment and not carry a tablet out in the field, we have a reporting screen that will print the past exams on all horses that are in today. And these sheets can be carried out to the exam sites, sorted by barn so that the vets can divide the work. And then exam details can be put on these sheets, and those details can then be transcribed back into the system when they return to their office. And this is the screen where they request the report, and here is the report. This is a pre-race vet exam report, and this particular example shows the last 3 exams along with the race result for reference. Obviously, the tablet PC option offers more flexibility in the field, but this option exists for those people who are not quite ready for a tablet PC. Maybe their environment doesn't denote that they can use that. They may have communication issues on their location or just personal preference. This system was launched in January of this year and is available to any racetrack or state vet that would like to begin capturing their exams into a central database environment. The data will certainly be valuable in assessing what leads up to some of the catastrophic injuries being tracked by the Welfare and Safety Summit Committee. Each state and track have the choice to make this data available to other states and other state veterinarians. This could certainly offer a great benefit to a vet who has never seen a specific horse before and has no idea if what looks strange to them today is actually normal for that horse, or maybe it's the final stage of an injury which could lead to a breakdown. The software is in use or is currently being installed in California, Kentucky, Louisiana, New York, and Florida. We're also working with several other states and expect to double this list before the end of the summer. This completes my presentation. I'd like to thank you for your interest, and I'll be available during the lunch break and the question and answer period for questions. Thank you.